morning. So
Good
excited to be
morning.
here. We're going to
Yay.
figure out the Facebook Live thing. We apologize. Yeah, there's some extra buttons there that weren't there. We didn't think there would be some, but there is. So we're just not sure which buttons to push. So
Ta-da.
we will ask and we will figure it out hopefully by next week. So it's all good. But
Yes.
I'm excited to be here with Dr. Dave and to be able to share my new book called What If? 365 Positive Possibilities for Your Life. So, and just so grateful to be on this wonderful platform with awesome people and awesome. And Dr. Dave has graciously agreed to have conversations to me with every week with Nature's Divas as well as What If, and just to share, just some positivity and bring some positivity to the world, which is so needed right
Yes.
now. So
Absolutely.
thank you, Dr.
Absolutely.
Dave,
Always.
for agreeing to do this with me. I'm so excited to be working with you
Yeah.
again because it's just so much fun to get together and connect. So we have so much
I
fun.
love it. Always. Yes. So happy to be here. I'm really excited, especially this new part of the journey. So for you, I'm so excited for you. So let's just dive in because I'm excited to get to learn more about this. So this book, where did it come
Yes.
from?
Well, it has been a journey, let me tell you. So I was at the last You Can Do It uh,
Mm,
conference in Toronto. And I decided at that point that there was a book in me, maybe one or two. And so purchased a program from there, package. And that was back, I think, probably maybe 2014, 2015. It was a while ago. And so then 2017, I decided, well, I was writing one book, but then that didn't seem to be going anywhere. So I decided, well, the universe is like, you need to sit down now. We're going to tell you what you're going to do. So I had this idea for these what ifs. So um, I'm in my previous life, I was a social service worker working with individuals with mental health, trauma, and addiction. So I worked one on one with them, and it was so rewarding. And I loved what I did. And when I was coming out of when I was doing my practicum for school, I was tasked with creating life skills courses. Now, anybody that knows anything about social service work, there's always life skills classes, So, and everyone that had been one that I was teaching was just like, oh, life skills. It's like, yeah, but you haven't had these life skills yet because these are really cool ones. So, being a holistic practitioner for almost 30 years now, I put a holistic twist on things. So our first life skill was all about creating coloring mandalas. So you get these big, tall, big guys, and they're like, well, what's a life skill today? I'm like, we're going to color. And they're just like, so I got a lot of weird looks, rolling eyes, the whole bit.
mm,
And so put out all these mandalas. I'm like, oh, you can pick more than one, there's markers and pencil crayons and crayons, whatever you want, so I put them all out. And they were they were not too excited to do it. They just kind of grab it, go sit down. But within 5 minutes of doing that, it was so quiet in there. And they were actually digging through the colors to find a specific one for what they wanted for their mandala. So after the hour, because I only had them for an hour, I let them, I'm like, all right, your guy, you can go. And they're like, what do you mean? We want to stay in color. So we did this for a whole week. And what I found from that, some of the feedback that I was given is this is the first time I have been able to get out of my head and have peace.
Mm,
And at the end of every life skill, I wanted to bring in the energy of gratitude. So I would ask them, what are you
mm,
grateful for? And more rolling eyes and whatnot, because a lot of them, they've burned all their bridges, they're homeless, and on it goes. And a lot of them would say, I have nothing to be grateful for. I'm like, okay, well, you had a warm breakfast this morning, and our food securities lady, she made sure everyone was full when you left. And then
mm.
they had a safe place to sleep the night before. And whether it was sunny or rainy, there was something to be grateful for. And so I would just get them to remember that, hey, even though, yeah, it really sucks where you are right now, it
Mm,
doesn't have to stay there.
mhm,
So, each day bring around and ask everybody, and some would say something like family or friends or what have you. By the end of the week, those people that passed on saying what they had to be grateful for had their hands up, and they had more than one thing to be grateful for.
wow.
And what I noticed from that experience is after they, looked through their memory banks to find out something that they were grateful for, they stood taller. Their eyes were looking out instead of their head down, and they had purpose and they felt worthy. And that's really important. And it was so awesome to see them come back and say, hey, I got a job, or I got housing, or this is what happened to me. And it's all because it put them into a different perspective and a different mindset than what they had been in before.
Mhm, mm,
So that's where this book comes from. It's what if, but not going south, like, oh, what if this goes terribly wrong? But
mm,
what
mhm,
if you made this the best day ever? What would that look
mhm,
like? And just to open up the possibilities, because I, what I found when I'm dreaming about things or what I want, if I haven't seen it yet, then I don't know to dream about it because I haven't seen
mhm.
it or nobody's suggested that to me. But once, if somebody or I read something and it opens up the possibility, it's like, hey, I want some of that. So it's, this book is all about opening up the possibilities that you may not have thought were there or you've never considered before, but now they're in the window of, hey, I can do that. That's possible for me. And each what if, there's one what if for every single day of the year. So, and it's a journey for each person to go on. So it's different from a self-help book where it's like, well, this is what I did, but it's like, hey,
Okay.
come along with me on the journey, and your journey is going to be different because of the beliefs and the thoughts that you have and where you are in your life, and what you choose to do is going to be different from everybody else, but it's going to take you on this wonderful journey of discovery on possibilities for your life.
So, can you walk us through then how does one do that with this book?
Well, there's a lot of fun ways to do this. So I haven't put numbers on any of the pages, so like dates. So it doesn't start at January 1st. So for those like me, it's like, oh my goodness, I've missed out on, so many days, and now I'm gonna have to wait till the next year to do that. No, you can start whenever you like, because I didn't put any dates on it. And I did that specifically because that would bother me as well. It would just irritate me to no end. So
I
you
know a
can
few
start
people
in the
like that.
middle of the book, you can start at the end of the book. What we're going to be doing each week when we get together is I'm just going to put my hands between the book like this and ask what the message is for today. This is a
Yep.
fun way to do it as well. So then that way we're going to get the message that is going to speak to us today and for what's going on, and we'll just go from there. But I use this every day as well, so I just started at the beginning and just one after another. So that's the way I do it. I took out my things so that it didn't mix up my what I'm doing today. So I wrote down I'm on a page 117. So but for today we're
Okay.
just gonna choose one and yeah, see where that takes us. So maybe we'll just take a couple deep breaths here and just getting into a space of just connecting because we're all connected. And what is the message for today? Ooh, what if today I chose to be brilliant?
Ooh.
Mm.
Ooh. I got those goosebumps. I love it. Ooh, yes,
So,
sister. Talk.
all right. So let's see what this is all about here. I have a question for you. Do you believe that you are brilliant? It doesn't mean you have to have a high IQ. Actually, having an above average IQ is totally overrated. Many people who haven't completed high school, gone to college, or have learning disabilities are brilliant. The definition of brilliant is very clever or skillful. The IQ doesn't fit into being clever or skillful. It is what you are, doing what you love to do. What lights up your day and makes you happy? These are the things that you're brilliant at. You may think that the skill you have isn't really that great or important. Think again. Think of the people that don't have your particular skill. For example, if you're a great organizer, you may just think that that is what you do to keep your house clean. For someone else who doesn't have that particular brilliance, it would be a gift from heaven to be shown how to be more organized so that they could clear out the clutter and feel better. Don't discount your brilliance. Let it shine for the world to see. When you choose to be brilliant, you live your soul's purpose and life just seems to fall into place. Ooh, got goosebumps.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. It's so good. That's so good. That gives power to anyone and everyone. I mean, like, no one is excluded from that.
Exactly.
That's that's so um, beautiful. I love it.
Well, it just reminds
Oh,
you that, hey, you're special. You came down here to do something. What is it that you love to do? What are those things that light you up that if you were doing it, time would be like time would be passing and you just wouldn't be aware of it because you are so focused and loving what you're doing. Those are those things that other people need.
mm.
Like I thought I was organized, like I'm organized to a degree. However, my daughter is freaking amazing at being organized. And so I just moved into my apartment last February. And so it's from a house. So downsizing and renovations and all that. So finally
Mm.
got through all that. But at the end of last year, it's like there was still some things that just needed to be organized. And I'm like, can you come and help me? And it just and the way she moves things around, it's like, I've got more space in here than I did before. And there's still
Nice.
the same amount of furniture in here. It's like, how does she do that? So she's an interior designer. So she has a knack for finding space and for organizing. And she is absolutely amazing at it. So it just felt so much better. And by doing that, it clears the energy. shifts the energy and
Hmm.
just opens all that up. And it just felt like this weight had been lifted off my shoulders. So each one of us has a different gift to give to the world. And it is important, those like, oh, I can,
Yeah.
like tech people, it's like, oh, you just do this and this and this. Like we are experiencing today, working with Facebook Live and going, hmm, I don't know how to do that. There is somebody out there that does. And they're just like, if you just push this button
Absolutely.
right here, you just push this one right here and you'd have it. It's like, we don't know that, but there is
Right.
somebody out there with that skill that does. And it's just like, and
Yeah.
it's that automatic. Well, yeah, I know how to do that. Not everybody does.
Right. Yeah. And as you first started talking about that, what it sounded like to me was, um, especially like right now, I think everybody's keyed into this phrase of what's your superpower,
Yes.
and that's your brilliance. It's your superpower. And so whatever you label that, and everybody's got it. You just have to find yours, and not that you have to find it because I think most folks know,
Hmm.
they just not be as willing to share.
Yes.
So being able to hear that as the inspiration for the day of, um, if you dare to be brilliant, so do you dare to let folks know your superpower? Wow. What can you accomplish?
Absolutely.
And what does that change in your world? I mean, just that question alone can just take the vibration of what your day was going to be like to make it just magical. How powerful.
Yeah. And
Yay.
how many people could you help? Like, how
Yeah.
many people could you connect with and make their lives better from that beautiful skill that you have?
Hmm. Well, and then too, like looking at, if I accept that as a truth for me,
Hmm.
then what happens when I accept that as a truth for everyone else? What's their brilliance?
Absolutely.
That might be a little difficult, for some folks that we have to interact with in our lives, but it would do the job of checking, like, okay, well, there's something brilliant in there, but that'll give us an allowance to be able to give them grace, right?
Yes.
That's where I was going with that.
Yeah. Might have to dig a little deeper, but it's
Uh,
there. That little
right.
spark, maybe it's hidden, but it's teeny, teeny, tiny. It's there still.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, as we said with the nature's divas, and it's interesting how these connect, is sitting back and connecting to source and listening to the messages, because there is a bigger plan out there that we are part of. And if we only sat and listened,
Mm.
we'd be able to hear it. And even my what if book, I had, excuse me, I had the what ifs written down, but then the wording for the paragraphs after, it was a struggle. So I'm like, okay, my ego's trying too hard to write this. So I just need to surrender and just ask for that guidance. And when I read this, I'm like, I actually wrote that. Thank you, God.
That's awesome.
I don't remember that, So it's
Mm.
more of that divine guidance, that an inspiration that came through me and wrote these words. And I like to write and I love to read. So that is something that I really just love to do, and to share with people and to talk with people and to learn from them, because we can all learn from each other. Just if somebody's a facilitator, doesn't
Mhm.
mean they can't learn anything from the students that they're teaching. They're going to learn so much because they're open to that belief that we learn from everybody,
Right.
and we've
Absolutely.
always got things to share with each other, that you never stop learning. I am a student of life and I just love to learn. And so, bringing that into there and having that awareness of, this is my gift, this is one of my gifts to the world, to help others in their, what they need to do to find out who they are and give those possibilities to open up their minds to go, hey, you got this superpower too. You are brilliant,
mm,
where they may not have thought that they were.
mm. That that gives them permission to be able to hear it. And then also stepping into that is so incredibly life-changing when
Absolutely.
we we give ourselves permission to be able to even consider that possibility, because there's so many folks that would never even in their wildest dreams believe that that should be an adjective for themselves. So hearing that, especially to start your day, wow, how can it not be an incredible day?
Mm-hmm.
So that's fantastic.
And something to remember as well, if we carry our past with us, we are not going to be able to move into the future. So a lot of us, and with the clients that I worked on with at the Hope Center in my 10 years of being a social service worker, they a lot of them dropped all that beliefs and dramas that have been like they had been subjected to and said, no, that doesn't define me anymore. That's not me. So it's really powerful to remember that trauma and whatever childhood you had or have right now that you're going through, it does not define who you are. Those are beliefs from other people. 99, I think it's 95% or 99% of all the beliefs we have are not ours. They
Right.
came from other people.
Yep.
So we only have this very small smidgen of positive beliefs in there that are actually true for us. So this book as well is bringing in those, hey, you know what? You are brilliant. And that can be a belief for you if you choose to release the beliefs of the past in order to transform into the person you're wanting to be.
So how would you suggest that somebody hearing that news of that they're brilliant, how if they might have that belief system that is limiting, how would you suggest that they align with this idea of being brilliant today?
Well, there's a lot of ways to do that. They can just, focus on that and just keep repeating it. And when things come out, and there is exercises in this book as well, that you can write down all that ego chatter that's going on, and then make that in one column, and then in another column, you can write down all the things that you've done that make that a lie.
Mm. Wow, can you say that
So
again? That was really awesome.
so if you write down what the ego's saying, oh, you can't do that. Who do you think you are? And all those things that, I've heard in my life, and, the rote, it's like, oh,
Yep.
it's just like on and on and on it goes. Write those down, and then beside it, go, no, this is what I've done. So for instance, um, when I graduated high school, my dad didn't believe that I had graduated because I only learned 70% of what I had learned for the whole 4 years. Meanwhile, I was the only one in my family to have graduated high school at
Mm.
this point. So this was something big, and he kind of squashed that down. So that was a belief I had, but it was also a belief that motivated me to go, mm-mm, no, watch me.
Mm.
So when I went to college and got my social service worker diploma, I graduated with high honors and a GPA of 4.0. So I'm more like, you know, so it was more of a motivating
Uh,
thing. But then from there, it's like it still had a hold of me. It was still an anchor. So when I would write that, because it would still pop up in different things I was doing, it's like that is complete bullshit because
mm-hmm.
I've graduated with high honors. So that does not apply. I am, I am me, I am brilliant, and I don't need any type of piece of paper to tell me otherwise. So it's just those shifts where there's so much that goes on in our lives that we have been able to overcome. And when you start looking at that, where you start looking at these lies, and what I've found too is the ego likes to work in the background, just behind. Like if you were to tune in, you could hear it, but it's just like noise in the background. But if
Mm,
you were to tune in and actually listen to what's going on in there, it's like, well, that's not true. But the ego doesn't like to be found out. So if you were to say, the ego says, and then write all this down, the ego's like,
mm,
it doesn't like being found out, because then you can go, no, that's a lie, because da 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 da.
mm,
And when you tune in more and you're listening to that and not letting it go on in the background, it quiets down because it doesn't like to be heard. It just likes to keep on going on in the background, which is hurting your soul on a deep level, is what it's
mm,
doing when you're not paying attention. But when you start bringing that to light and going, wait a minute, no, no, that one is not me. And then you can start, going, well, that belief does not define me. That is, I do not accept that as mine. And you can just release them.
mm, mm.
Or you can work with somebody. We both have coaching practices, and you can work with somebody one on one to help move through those things. If there is other underlying, things going on, there is support out there for people who want to move through and really start to be that shining light and infinite possibilities that they are. There is so many tools out there for people who, you can do it yourself, which, yeah, you can, because you have it all inside you.
Right.
Or to move forward a little bit easier, because there's somebody that's been there, done that, and has a toolkit of things to use as well, then that's also an option.
Hmm. Well, that was, I think, really perfect to kind of give you all the different options there of, the levels, but, from the most basic of, I just really love that the journaling part of it of finding a lie to each one of those ego statements. That if people would just begin there, it could shift so much of their energy and free up so much of that energy that it's spent um, keeping. It's the voltage of energy that keeps going to each one of those lies until they then pull the power plug on it.
Yeah,
So, and that allows us then to have the energy to truly be that brilliant.
absolutely. And it's just so exciting to see, because it also helps you remember, oh, I've done a lot. It's like, oh, look at that. It's not so bad. Yeah, you've done a lot. Absolutely. There's another exercise that I share with my group coaching, is to have a coil book and write the year, each year at the top of the page. And then just go back, and it's a work in progress. So if you remember something from a certain year, like it doesn't have to be a month or whatever, or just kind of generalize, write it down. Write it down what happened. And either maybe it was something that, holy crap, this happened. However, this is how you found your way out of that, or whatever, you know, events that happened in your life. And when you do that, you're able to see that it triggers more things for you to remember. And then it's like, oh, I did that too. I did that too. Oh my goodness, and it
Yeah.
just starts to show you, because with the ego back there chattering, it has diminished your soul, because your soul's like, holy crap, man, just be
Yeah.
quiet. But it's just been running back there for so long. But once you start noticing all these things, it's like it lifts your heart, and it opens up your heart and goes, wow, I've been through all these things. However, I'm still standing, which is awesome. And plus I've learned so much. So you're nowhere near you were where you were before, and you've learned so much from those experiences, and now you're here, and now you're moving forward. So it's just this process, which you then can see in black and white, which is really nice to be able to see, because some need that visualization of, oh, okay, I
You're
have
right.
done a lot, instead of just like repeating it in your mind, because it's like, okay,
Hmm.
yeah, I did that. But once you see it, it brings a whole other level. Just like writing out your goals, it's a whole other level. Like you're, this is concrete stuff here, and this is what I've done, and this is what I've accomplished. So
I love that idea. That kind of, to me, that sounds like it's your curriculum that you've gone through, in your life, to get to where you are, because all of it was teaching yourself and the steps to learn how to get where you've been. So it's as though like that chronological account of how you've become the brilliant self that you are.
absolutely. And you can start at any age, and it's not like a one and done. You might write a whole bunch of stuff, but then it starts opening those doors in your mind to, and you'll be doing something one day and go, I remember something, and it's something really cool that you've totally forgotten, and you write it down. And
Mm.
it's just this living book that helps you remember. So on those days where I used to have what's called sucks to be me days,
Hmm. Yeah.
but on those days you can look at those and go, it's not such a bad day after all. And
Hmm.
just a reminder of the gratitude and the things that you've done.
Super powerful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun and so easy, yet so powerful.
Absolutely.
Wow. Where can folks find or get their hands on this amazing next tool?
Well, I have some in my possession right now, so you can reach out to me, direct message me, and I can get that information to you. But my new second edition will be out very, very soon. So there will be information on the Facebook page on that, because we will be doing the launch through iAwesome. And yeah, so there's going to be some cool things going on. So it's off in Scotland right now, just getting the last read through to see if there's any other changes to be made. And then it will be up on Amazon as well,
Awesome.
amazon.ca. So probably the other Amazons as well. So yeah, it's coming.
Excited, excited. Cannot wait for everybody to get to use that as
Yes,
a daily tool. It's just phenomenal. Um,
absolutely.
it has been such an incredible honor to be able to get into this space and hear and watch you be able to bring these tools to folks, the gifts that you're bringing to everyone, explaining them, but then getting to see all the passion that you bring to each one of these wonderful tools that people should be using daily. So thank you for allowing me to be in part of this. This has been really amazing.
Well,
You're
thank
amazing.
you too for being with me on this journey and being able to talk and discuss. I think that's a really nice way to be able to bring these tools forward, and yeah, to share. And I love working with you. It's so much fun whenever we get together. So this is awesome.
Yay, me too. Well, I'm excited for everybody else too. So next week they get to join us again for the next episode.
Absolutely. We'll figure out the Facebook Live thing, and yes, we will we'll be on there at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The first half hour is the Nature's Divas, Conversations with the Divas with Dr. Dave and I. And then the second half hour is all about possibilities and what if.
Yay. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. And thanks everybody that gets to watch this. Please, please take that moment to do everything that Brenda just shared. Being able to step into that, give possibilities a try. What can it hurt?
Absolutely. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Okay. See ya.
Bye bye.